Hello and welcome to this special episode of the State of the BeanStalk. My name is jen-hsun.
And I'm Steve Stevenson.
Welcome. Now Steve, please tell me, what do we have on today's amazing show?
So we will be covering GTC 2016 that is coming out on the 5th of April. And for all of you GPU enthusiasts, you might want to check it out because Nvidia will be releasing some more information that we believe on the GPU 100, as well as the CEO from Toyota that's going to be there.
Oh wow, Toyota. And what else we've got? We've also got this lovely little story that you have probably been watching on TV, the internet, and everywhere. It is Apple versus the FBI, or rather the US government. Short story long is that the US government wants Apple to build a backdoor into those phones. We'll talk about that much later. And another story that Steve Stevenson was so lucky to be on is the Bottom Crankshaft, where Geremy Glaxxon was able to interview and you were able to race a car. We'll see more about that later. What else have we got?
Now we got one last special thing, and recently, a couple of weeks ago, there was a release from Capcom, that being Street Fighter V, which we will quickly review.
And if you have seen any of our past videos, we did get to unbox a Quanda fighting stick, so have a look at that. And before we get into the rest of the show, here is a message from our sponsors. Hello, my name is Ronald Gump, and this is Eve Oil. You're probably thinking, a wealthy man like myself can be trusted. And you're absolutely correct. Just look at all my money. Here at Eve Oil, I can assure you we do not care about irrelevant things like the environment or superstition like global warming. What matters most to us is that your car is full of our petrol and your lungs are full of fumes. At Eve Oil, our prices are highly competitive. We all know that the most expensive things are the best. And that is why we are getting our prices the highest possible as the FCC will allow us. Don't delay. Fill up your car today and help us destroy the environment for a wealthier future. Eve Oil. Because life is too short to care about poor people. Thanks Eve Oil and welcome back. I am definitely happy that my pizza arrives lukewarm, radiated, and cancerous.
Maybe lukewarm, but still warm. And I'm very glad that I was able to get to the studio, even though there was so much traffic, it took me 3 hours.
Especially all that smog that comes from all that burning oil from our engines. I'm so happy when I breathe, it's like smoking a 10-pack of cigarettes a day.
With today's cigarette prices, it's definitely a win-win.
It definitely is. Now, let's get back to our first topic, which is Nvidia releasing Pascal. Please, Steve, tell me more about it.
At GTC 2016, we're hoping to hear more information about the GP100 from Nvidia, which is also known as the Nvidia Pascal. Now, Jen-hsun, who is the CEO and the co-founder of Nvidia, will be there to talk more about it. As well as that, we are going to have Gil Pratt, which is the CEO of Toyota. So I'm very interested to know what kind of technology will take place with the
I've got a feeling, because there was rumors, and I think some of it is already happening. The Tegra X3 or 1 is inside some cars. So, we've seen a lot of self-driving cars and cars with a lot of technology in it. I think Nvidia and Toyota are pairing up to do a big car next year.
I wouldn't be surprised. That definitely does sound like something they would do.
Because what do we've got? We've got navigation, the touch screens, big panel, and Nvidia have been making those gaming tablets, which are really powerful in a very small package, and I reckon one of those inside a car would be wonderful. You got them, like I said, navigation, you probably have music, everything connected, your phone. So pairing up with Nvidia with a powerful chip, the Tegra, is a really good step for Toyota, and I'm betting both of them will get on stage and say, we're getting together, gonna have a party.
Yeah, look, and I wouldn't be surprised that if we'd have like technology like in Mission Impossible 4, I think it was, with the BMW, where it had like the windscreen and the maps and the interface.
That's right, actually, funny you say that, but BMW at the what was it, what was that show that just went past?
The CES?
CES, that's right. They had a car that actually had, it wasn't maps, but it was like actually it wasn't sort of map. It was like a very thin, it wasn't all over the whole screen, but just a little bit on the bottom of the dash, you could have the map and a direction and even some speedometers and stuff getting sort of blasted onto the glass of the car. So it's already happening, and I think Toyota really wants to get, into that sort of that futuristic, well, not futuristic, but that future step, because that is the next step for cars and mobile devices put together without that stupid plugs and things like that. So that'll be exciting, I reckon.
Yeah, there'll definitely be a lot more immersion, I think, and distraction when it comes to looking at your map and getting to the destination where you need to get to.
Oh, that's a good point. So now, I guess we've got mobile devices built into the car. What are the police going to be like when they're going to stop, pull you over and oh, sir, what were you doing? Well, actually, I was texting my girlfriend on here because I had a big, screen keyboard and I was just texting. Are they going to pull you over because you were using a mobile device? Is it going to be classed as a mobile device because it has apps, it has everything that a mobile device would have, except it's just built into the car? What are we going to do then? Are the police going to fine us for using our navigational system because it's now like a mobile device?
What I think it's going to be like the radio situation. When you're tinkering with your radio, it would probably be a little bit like that, but knowing that you have like an interface be a lot more distracting because you try to keep your eyes on both things.
That's right, because with the radio, you know where the sound knob is, you know where a couple of buttons are, and you don't really have to look. But with a touch screen, you have no feedback to your hand that you've actually pressed the button. And even the Tesla models, everything is on that touch screen. So if you want to put the sound up, you got to touch screen. If you want to change the speed of the fans, you got to touch again. You have no feedback as to if you're touching that button. So I have been pulled over once for fiddling with my radio, and I said, what's wrong with that? They're like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that.
Really? You were
pulled over? I was pulled over and fined for an unrelated thing with the P plates, but this was years ago. This is a long time ago. But the reason they pulled me over was because I was fiddling with my radio next to them at the lights. I thought that was completely unfair. I wasn't using my phone, I wasn't using anything else, but I was fiddling with my radio. Yeah. So they can get you for anything at all. We'll see what this leads to, because it's going to be a big distraction when you've got apps on the car.
Yes, and speaking of police and technology, which takes us to the next topic, that being
the Bottom Crankshaft. Steve Stevenson joined Geremy Glaxxon at the Bottom Crankshaft, and we're going to see right now how he went racing an amazing automobile. Are you excited to see this?
I'm very excited, almost as much as I had the experience in the car.
Alright, we'll see you in a bit. Hello, my name is Geremy Glaxxon and welcome to the Bottom Crankshaft. Today I have a fairly special guest on our show. His name is Steve Stevenson. Welcome.
Thank you, Geremy. It gives me great pleasure to be on tonight's show.
Please tell me a little bit about State of the BeanStalk.
Well, on State of the BeanStalk, I am a co-host along with jen-hsun, and we cover the latest things of video games, TV shows, and news.
Steve, please tell me about your first car, because this is a car show. We need to know about your first experience in a car, and not the sexual type.
Yes. So look, the first car that I drove was the Gronda Bajutsu. It's a 3-wheel car, and it had 12 gears.
12 gears? It's so bad! Okay, this time you drove a much faster car. Please tell me about this car. You like this car?
Yes, it was the Lamborghini Gallardo that I got to experience for the first time ever. Even though I have 12 of those in my garage, I never really took one out for a spin until the other day.
This is very fascinating. Now, let's have a look. How do you think you went in our track?
Well, look, I have high hopes that I was a little bit faster than Snoop Doggy Dogg. But
Snoop. You see, Snoop was so high the whole time. He managed to smoke 3 cones before he even got to the end. Let's see how you went. Please. You see, look at you going around that corner.
You are making a turn, but you're not going through it.
Wow, well, look at that. You know what? The acceleration is definitely much stronger than what it looks like on the video.
Yes, definitely. I can see your face smooshing. Oh, that must have hurt.
Well, yeah, look, I won't lie to you. It's a lot of braking horsepower.
Yeah. We have a very jam-packed audience for tonight for you, Steve, and I feel it's getting a bit crowded here. But this is the final corner. Let's see how you go.
It puts a lot of pressure on me because honestly, I hope I'm up there in the charts against all the other celebrities.
A lot of celebrities today. Some of them were killed recently, but there's still some left on the board.
Yeah, I think even Jenny is here from the toilet cleaning company, Krapitsu.
Krapitsu, okay.
Yes.
Okay, Steve. It's been a very good drive. What do you think? What time you did? The average time I'll give you is 4 minutes.
Look, well, I hope that I've definitely gone under that 4 minutes. I'm expecting that I'll be somewhere between Tom Handsome and Jessica Lowbottom.
Jessica Lowbottom was a very good driver, and so was Tom Hansen. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look. You did it in 5.34 hours.
Wow, that is definitely much better than I expected.
Snoop Dogg did it in 14 hours while getting high and having sex with 2 prostitutes. You were an hour slower than him, with no prostitutes.
Yes.
Steve, how do you feel?
I feel like I'm a superstar.
Steve, you are the superstar on this show. Thank you very much for coming and enjoying our show with your show. And good luck next time on the Bottom Crankshaft.
Thanks, Geremy Glaxxon.
Thank you, Steve.
If you have been watching the news or have been on the internet, you would have heard the big epic case that is Apple versus the United States government, or rather the FBI. So, this is very big story because the FBI is asking Apple to create an update, a legitimate update to a phone that allows the FBI and Apple to unlock it, to unlock the password, any sort of encryption that's on anything on the device. And the only way to do that is through an official update from Apple. Now, Steve, let's put this in perspective and give a bit of a con and a pro here.
Yeah.
You know the terrorist attack that happened and the reason they want to unlock the terrorist's phone who shot up multiple people and killed them. And they want to unlock it to know about that person, why they did it, accomplices and things like that, and all that information is inside that phone. So I guess, is it right to do that? Is the FBI got the right to ask Apple, a company that's separate from the government, to create a tool like this?
See, what I think, it stems from the fact that what is the purpose in obtaining those rights to being able to get inside those phones? And is this going to breach privacy on a whole new level? Is it going too far? And I mean, what is their rationale behind it? Are they thinking that in doing so, they're able to capture, a lot more terrorists and whatnot, whatever they want to achieve? But let's think about it. If you are a part of an organization like that, aren't you going to obtain a phone that's cracked anyway on the black market? Or the next level being that if you're going to communicate with people in an organization that you want to create crime and terrorism, why would you do that over the phone in the first place?
I have this inkling feeling that if, for example, I do agree that we need to have the ability to unlock the phone when there is a terrorist event that happened and there's a phone that has potential information on that disaster and could potentially even have information on future disasters. But where do you draw the line? Where is the point where you say this is a terrorist event, but this is just a crime, or this is just a senator that might be embezzling, or this is just a person that we're interested in, or this is just a mom and dad that has cheated on their spouse? Where is that line where you draw? And you say that this tool that Apple has not created yet, but where is that line where that tool stops being used, because I bet if it ever gets created, somebody is gonna steal it and it's gonna go into the wrong hands.
I think so. And I mean, in today's world, we have a lot of CCTV footage going on. There's cameras everywhere where you go, where you move. There's microphones everywhere. So how far do we have to go to ensure that we're going to have total control over every single type of behavior, whether it's good or bad? And how is that going to be used against people as well in the future?
Yeah, if this tool comes out, just imagine that every single person who has an iPhone can be remotely hacked. They can turn on the camera, they can turn on the microphone, they can do things to the phone without your knowledge. And giving somebody that power is a lot, especially Apple, because Apple, you know, as much as everybody can hate on Apple, they do take a precedent, especially now when they've denied the FBI the permission to do that, and they're not going to do it. Apparently, there's going to be, well, obviously the court case is on.
Yeah.
But you have to give them props for that, because they really are standing up for not just themselves, but everyone who's using the iPhone.
All their consumers.
And if there's a small percentage that's using it for crime, obviously it's not their fault, but they're not going to compromise the 99% of people who are using it for legitimate reasons and could be targeted with this tool. And I just think, because it's a terrorist event, because it was such a bad thing, they should unlock just that phone. But if they do, they open Pandora's box. And unfortunately, that can lead to a lot more the worst things that could ever happen. So props to Apple, I suppose. But I mean,
Yeah.
what do you reckon?
Yeah, look, and I think it's a little unrelated, but you know, the scenario of privacy and the Dallas Buyers Club issue that we had, you know, Dallas Buyers Club definitely backed off in terms of the piracy. Now, how do I feel about it? I think that is definitely a huge breach of privacy. There are a lot of, like, obviously 99% of the people are innocent individuals. So I think the FBI should be investing into other means as opposed to hacking everything, everyday things that we use. You know, who knows? Maybe in the future we'll be buying fridges that are implanted with, you know, sound recording or cameras that we might not know of. Or, you know, they'll advise us that that's just the go, that all appliances will have monitoring devices everywhere that we go, and it's gonna just feel like Germany back in the 80s, you know,
80s
the Berlin Wall.
Now, I think two things I want to mention before we finish off on this topic is look at Samsung TVs that came out recently with the ability to have Skype. You did notice that the camera at the top could be moved and pointed the other way?
I didn't know that.
Little thing like that, the fact that the camera isn't just stationary, even though it's just going to be used for Skype, but giving the people a false sense of security by saying, yeah, you can, by the way, you can twist it the other way just in case the FBI or somebody comes along and hacks your TV.
Wow.
And finally, Steve, do you have anything else to say about this?
Look, personally myself, I hope that it doesn't go ahead, and I hope that they find another means of monitoring these things. I mean, they've got like hundreds of satellites up in the sky anyway, so you'd think that that would be enough to monitor everything that happens in the world.
Yeah, hopefully. Now look, the one last thing I'm going to leave you, something to ponder, is the fact that the FBI cannot hack an iPhone really says a lot about all those conspiracy theories where they're watching you shower through the webcam in your laptop.
Or are they making us think that so we feel safer than we really are?
Ooh, where's that white guy? Whiteson, Snow White, what's his name?
Where from?
The guy who leaked all those documents.
I don't know who that is.
Jon Snow? Snowden! I knew I had to do with Snow and White.
A Game of Thrones reference? What?
I don't know. Anyway, next topic is up now.
But enough about FBI and Apple, so the next thing we want to talk about is a big brawler, Street Fighter V via Capcom. Let's take it away. After an 8-year hiatus, Capcom claws its way back up with an assortment of fireballs and spinning kicks, bringing you the latest installment in the fighting franchise, Street Fighter V. But has it kept up with the fighting competitors on the market today? Let's find out. Well known for its side-scrolling fighting gameplay of its predecessors, pitting two fighters against each other utilizing an array of combos and special abilities to knock your opponent out. The game features a blast from the past with the EX gauge, which was introduced in Street Fighter III back in 1999. As it builds up, it can be utilized for special super moves or super combos, also known as critical arts. What is new to this game is the V gauge, which builds as the player receives attacks and adds 3 new techniques: V-skills, V-reversals, and the V-trigger. The V-trigger uses the entire V-gauge and functions differently with each fighter. For example, Nash is capable of teleporting to his foe from one side of the stage to the next, or in Chun-Li's case, it adds additional hits to her attacks. It acts as a trump card in battle and can turn the tables instantaneously, adding further layers to this already deep fighting game. At launch, the game features 16 characters to choose from, a modest roster with majority characters returning from previous iterations, and 4 of whom are new to the Street Fighter series. What's brilliant about every one of these characters is their uniqueness. It can be safely said that each character has its own flair, look, and individual fighting style. What's important to note here is how Ken and Ryu are now more distinguishable than ever, with Ryu's edgy, like karate hits and Ken's relaxed whirlwind kicks. The game features interactive arenas that showcase special animations when an opponent is defeated in a particular part of the stage. Now for the game modes. The single player is comprised of story mode, training mode, survival, and versus, whilst online modes entail ranked matches, casual matches, and a battle lounge. Without a doubt, it is evident that the single player options are bare as bones. There is also a central fighting network that showcases worldwide rankings, replays, and much more. Capcom has moved away from its notorious means to create endless special editions of the same game with additional content. Instead, they have moved to a DLC model whereby some content will be added post-launch for free, whilst others will be purchasable via in-game currency, also known as fight money, achieved by winning online matches or successfully completing various in-game modes. And Zenny, that can be purchased via real-world currency. In-game money will be used to purchase characters, costumes, amongst other post-game content. In my opinion, a welcomed addition. At launch, there have been various disconnecting issues in the online matches, although most of this has now been remedied by Capcom, as well as punishing rage quitters by deducting majority of their league points in ranked matches. In conclusion, if you are looking for single-player content, I would urge you to look elsewhere. If you are prepared to shed blood, sweat, and tears in the online matches that offer a great online experience whilst looking fabulous, then this is the title for you. Here at State of the BeanStalk, we give it a 7.5 beans out of 10. Hadouken!
Welcome back. Thank you very much, Steve, for that review. I know you're a big fan of the genre and the series that is Street Fighter. Must have been hard to be saying all those things about Street Fighter 5.
Yeah, look, as much as I am a big fan and a horrible fighter myself, it is content lacking, and I hope that in the near future there'll be a lot more patches, DLC coming out that will get a lot more content.
Alright, and that is the show for today. If you liked this episode, give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like the episode, give us a thumbs up anyway, because it's a good episode in fact. Now, Steve.
Reasons.
These reasons.
Yes.
Thank you very much for joining us. My name is jen-hsun.
And I'm Steve Stevenson.
We'll see you next time. Thank you, Evoil, and welcome back. Definitely, I am so happy that my pizza arrives on time, radiated, and very cancerous.
Do I need to say something?
I was hoping you'd say something.